Good morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching this video. Now, unfortunately, the voice recording from the actual video is corrupted and I cannot recover it, so you're gonna get editor me for now. In this clip, I was talking about how good Update 3 is, since this was filmed right after Update 3 is. We can see how the tubes can conform to the rounded base slide, so definitely interesting how they managed to do that. Also manages to make the game a little more looking good-ish, something like that. But right now, I was explaining how we need to complete the objectives for the scenario, such as average pool cleanliness of 95%, hunger and thirst needs above 65%, and then the park rating of 4.5. Now, unfortunately, what the thing that was holding back the park rating the most was the scenery, as we can see in this clip right here. So, in this episode, we mainly focused on building up the scenery, but that's besides the point. So, moving on to here, this is me putting in some water pumps to make sure that the pool cleanliness can be above 95%. So just had to place water pumps in each of the pool areas. That would be green, red, and purple. So here I am connecting up the water pipes for the green side. You can see that it did drastically improve the filtering rate. We can see that it was at 30% initially. It did eventually go up to 100%, so putting in the water pumps definitely helped for each of our sections here. As we can see, I'm putting in for the red side now. Connecting up to the other water filter. We can see that it had a 17% increase. This side wasn't too terrible, but just in case, I had to place another water pump just so it could get up to the 100%. Also, for some reason, the pool was grayed out with the water filters, so I don't know if that did something to it. But we could also see that apparently the water pump was not in the power range, so I had to add another generator just so we can generate some more power instead of just the one central generator up top. So as we can see, the new water pumps were making some dividends to our overall cleanliness from all our pools. So that was definitely a good plan for me. At this point, I wanted to focus on each of the hunger and thirst needs. So I wanted to place food and drink stand in each of the pool sections. So here I am placing a path, sort of a plaza area for the new food and drink area. But unfortunately, the draw tool wasn't cooperating with me today, especially since it wasn't really on flat ground. So I don't know what that guy was doing. So I just decided to build a line from the pool area to the main path and kind of flattened out the terrain just to make sure that our food and drink stands can be able to fit in there. So we grabbed the chief beef. Oh, first, apparently we had to place another distributor just to make sure that it isn't within the power range. So put our chief beef down, and I believe it was also a slush hour. Yep, slush hour there. So wanted to make sure they were separate buildings so I can get the perfect angle correctly. Although that didn't really help me in the long run, because later in the time lapse we're going to be able to see that the building didn't really adjust well to the uneven ground, so that's just something I overlooked initially. But either way, we got our chief beef and our slush shower. Of course, have to have a bathroom by each of our food areas, so very nice, very nice. For the red here, we didn't have a lot of space, obviously, because we had our slides and our flat rides around, so I had to clear some trees around so we could place our food and drink area in that open area over there, as you can see. But unfortunately, we didn't have any power distributors on the red side because we didn't really need it at the time since we only really had the cable car, but that was already in range, so I didn't have to really deal with that. But of course, putting in food and drink, we need a distributor, so I had to place it down there. And I did something similar here where I placed 2 different buildings so we can get a little bit angled so they're not just facing straight on. Something different, just so it's not all the same. Of course, had to open it up. Didn't really have room for a bathroom exactly near the food and drink area, so I had to place it off to the side. For purple side here, I didn't know if I planned this out previously, but in later in the time lapse, you can see that this food and drink area will coincide with the invader entrance. So something that I thought was really neat, but something that I'm pretty sure I didn't actually plan out and kind of just rolled with it. But yeah, we can see I wanted to make sure that the paths were all one, so we can create one plaza for our food and drink areas. So that was placing down food and drink to make sure hunger and thirst was up. And also we were making swift progress with our average pool cleanliness above 95%. Yeah, of course we can see that the scenery rating was dipping. That's a separate tangent for another video. I'm not gonna really get into that right now, but one other thing, a part of the park rating was, of course, the placing down of unique attractions. So I had to research separate flat rides so we can get a more diverse set of ride sets. So I had to place down, I believe this is Skybeam. That's what the ride is called, but that's just to boost the unique attractions so we can get to the next star of it. Alright, so I was placing down the entrance and exit, the usual stuff that goes along with building a flat ride. Had to, of course, clear the trees around because this is similar to a Scream and Swing where it kind of swings out, but just the one side, so it's definitely a weird attraction. It doesn't really invert that much. I don't really know why it has over-the-shoulder restraints, but definitely a very interesting attraction. But at this point, I've noticed that people were being annoying and complaining that they were stuck, even though they can just go under the water slide. So I had to cut here just to make sure that I've got that I got that idea down. But at this point, I was just waiting for the pool cleanliness to get above 95%, and there it goes. That is pool cleanliness completed. Basically all the pools were at 100% at the time, except for red side for some reason. I don't really know why it was at 86, but it satisfied the achievement, so that is that. And now at this point, I cut away just so we can make way for our scenery build. So yep, here we go. This is going to be our scenery time lapse. So thank you guys for watching this video. I will be back with the actual voice recording in the next week. So enjoy this scenery time lapse, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Have a great day. So I hope you enjoyed that little scenery time-lapse of me just building certain random buildings here and there. We are sitting at a 4.31 for the overall park rating, so I'll just sit here and update you if anything else changes.
12 seconds later.
Well, you don't have to
Let's
be
go,
Odin
we
to
did
see
it!
that this park is worth raving about.
I'm incredibly proud of this site, of what we've been able to accomplish here. I can't wait for the Foundation to see the results.
Thanks for bringing us on board, Adriana. I hope they like it as much as we do.
I mean,
Indeed.
personally, you had me at the Rainbow Bridge. But this whole project was a pretty awesome idea.
Brad,
We should go,
it's called the
though, before I
Bifrost.
down a few more bowls of stew.
Indeed we do. Platinum medal get. I will talk about the scenery rating in the next episode, so hope you enjoyed this scenery time lapse, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.